Hey, people. I got word this morning that the youngest sister had died. She was the last one out of my adoptive family. And she was my helper Denny's mom. But it was no shock. She knew she was dying, and she wasn't scared. And I talked to her a lot about what I'd do. She didn't understand, but she promised she would come haunt me when she was on the other side. So I had checked Facebook, and I seen this memory come up from 3 years ago. And I've been working. I haven't been reading much at all. And I started to look at this, and I thought I ought to put it in context and make a little time to read today. And as I started reading this here in Ezekiel 2, I noticed that either my time off has helped me, or I got another spirit working with me now. Because this is why press, and he spread. If you press out the dough. And this is proof that this is a P and not an F like they say. And it's why is how or who. Who press it walloping way. Who press it walloping way. If you pressing the way, you're making headway through the water, through the forest. But it, starts with A, so it's backwards. ETWALPNA, the walloping way. Walloping way is beating your path, beating your way to the top. The walloping is it, W to power of L of PNI. Who press it to power of place, PNI, ping. To power your place, to wallop your way through. Who press it walloping way. Cut of happen is the cut of KTUV of HP, and I believe this just means two P's, reads as two P's, a P with the EP or HP, hap, and then pin is, the happen is. The walloping way, the cut of happen is. Watch where to cut of hyle, backwards starts with HYLA is the ancient word for matter. The cut of matter, finish, QNIS, finish, fini, it's a French word you see at the end of old movies. The cut of matter, finish, wedge way. So a lumberjack uses a wedge to help fell a tree, to help it go in its direction. When a tree grows up tall and straight, you cut less than half of it over here. And so you have a working hinge, a one-way working hinge where it can only fall in this direction. Just tap that wedge in to get the top moving a little bit. So who press it to walloping way, cut of the opening is watchware. That's all his name. The watchware, his job is to press through cutting. The cut of matter, hyle, what's left behind, finish, wedgeways. Wedgeways means laying down. If you're a lumberjack, the wedge goes in horizontal. So the cut matter, after you're fighting your way through the jungle, you got a machete and you're cutting your path. And so the cut of hyle, with a path you left behind, the soldiers you left laying, finish, wedgeway, laying down. And so, this way, W-E-Y, and this way, they're the same word, W-Y, and then a cut of, the way a cut of. Except, this comes after a PNI as a place, the walloping place, the place where it gets beat down, who press it to walloping way. And so it's, way is an old highway, a pathway, the way to take. And so I looked this word up, because I thought it would help break down some other words. So I read a couple of these, and I got there Genesis 38. Who am, whom, what's at, way, assail, the low. And I had to look that up. And it's whom what's it weigh assail the low. And backwards and forwards. Him come ye Lamore. So I wanted to put this in context. So I went to the chapter and looked at the first line they called Judah and Tamar. And it's wage, the work that makes it get done, how they wage in at the who word, Judum at which, with Odyssey, O-D-S-I-A. S-I-A is like sea, and an odyssey is a journey, traveling. With Odyssey, with travel. The wage and at the who word, Judum at which. Judum is to talk somebody down off their price. The word Judum at which. With Odyssey is backwards and forwards, O-D-S-I-A-I-S. The Odyssey is, the journey is Odalmai. And Odal is the heir, something passed down. If you're the son of the king, your Odal is the kingship. You're the royalty. And that's usually what Odal comes from, is somebody, born in the royal blood. The Odyssey is Odal, the inheritance. The Odal, my usum which higher, where mashes you would but see is Canoni, a same a shoe, Canoni, to fill a same a shoe. A shoe is the doctor, makes house calls, a shoe. And he married her and went into her is the wife, W-I-F-H, wife, the wife, W-I-V-A, to wife the wife. So this is to go in to the wife, to her. And you see the high, wife the wife, matter. To do the matter of wifing the wife, the big nasty. You can see they changed the meaning of Heil since that last line, where it was word 413, meaning on it. So I went back down to read that line, finished reading that line. I had mistaken. I had went to line 28, and I saw it was the second line in this paragraph, so I thought I'd start with this line 27. It's the wage about the bottle date. Wage bottle date. The bottle date is the date it was bottled up. That's the date that would be on your food, the day it was bottled. The day of your wine was bottled. The wage bottle date when, W-E-N-E. Connect the cycle of life is when that happened. The wage, the bottle date when Thomas, T-A-W-M-I-S. The final M is a S, and this is more proof of that. Everybody knows that Thomas means twins. In the ancient language, Thomas was the twins, or Gemini. The wage, the bottle date when Thomas bevetten, in collect the seed life. To vet something is to let it out, in vetten, in let out. The wage bottle date when twins in let out, in vetten. Wage validate is the notary, is somebody there to validate. The wage validate who tended, backwards and forwards, why, how, or who, and TN, and then backwards and forwards, DID. Through hand is did. You did, if it was through your hand, you did it. But who tended? So where the word tended come from. What take the mill date? What fesser all in and, backwards and forwards, VOV, and DIDU, and did assign command. And so, this is the story of the twins, and the one that came out and stuck his hand out first, the midwife tied a scarlet thread, although this is the same word they sometimes say is year. But the wage, the one whose job was to validate who tended what take the mill date. And so this isn't midwife, all of this is the midwife, the ones whose wage and validate who tended to what take the mill date, what fesser, what says or what she says, all to did assign, did assign command. The ones whose hand come out first, got the scarlet thread, the red thread. The command is, ZE is or it. The command is it so, IXA, is ITSA, ITSO, it's so ration. Who fesser all and did assign command is it's so ration, the one who's rationed out the scarlet threads. And then the line after this wage, as you read it backwards and forwards, and so it's the wage, and then backwards, is yod, to make how, HIW, the work connected. To make the work connected is how something gets done. The wage, to make how, conceive, to receive, to conceive, hand to. The wage, to make how, conceive, to receive the hand to, when it's so which, what to more, me, and then backwards and forwards, the tax, TX, me tax, R, and then PRTS, me tax reports, the tax reports, the IRS. What two more me tax reports, OLIK, OLIK, like alcoholic is, holy, as in WHOLY, all of, give. If you're a workaholic, you give God to give the holy to your work. And if you're an alcoholic, you give holy, give to your alcohol. All make fold. And so me tax reports it, OLIK. Tax reports it, OLIK. Ports. The little dot in the P makes it two P's. Purports. Purports, who force 'em apart. Wage, make how, conceive, come back, come receive, the hand to when, it's so which, oh what to more. Me tax reports it, OLIK. Ports, reports, the ports who force 'em apart, parts. The watcher, it's so which arrays, all to did we sign, to assign, and foursome user. So back to this 25. Whom, what's it weigh? Assail low, him come ye command, ye Lamar. Low is raise the lowly Lou, ELALE, lowly Lou. To raise the lowly Lou icon, to raise your icon, and to run up the jack staff, your flags, and command. Low is raised the lowly Lou. The Lou is a helper. Icon a here, icon a here. What to more the cranial, CRKRANAL, the cranial, the place where you make determinations, in your cranial. What to more the cranial, my each time it. We pedal is, we math hail. H-A-L-E, hail comes from we math. And so the chord, old sailors used to have a rope hanging beside them while they were rowing, while they were paddling. We pedal is. While they were paddling the boat, and they math, they added up their days by tying knots. You know, we math. We from collect life. We math comes from. And so they're adding up the days from the chord. The days paddled. We pedal is we math hail. So the youngest sister, her name was JUD-E. J-E-U-D-E. JUD-E. So they leave us clues to the meaning of these words. And there's an ancient old puppet show called The Punch and Judy, and Punch is the one who's dealing it out, and he's beating up the police and the devil and all of them. And Judy is the one who's taking the punches. So I started this like I was gonna make a quick movie to remind me of what I was reading, but I went ahead and texted in, let the boss man know I wasn't coming. And I'm not going to say rest in peace, Judy. I hope you haunt me for a long time. All right, this just goes out to Judy. Good day.